let's talk about news. And there's been some interesting studies released recently that people are not watching the local news anymore. I don't know how they're going to find out that a cat 3 blocks away from them got electrocuted, or that, you know, the neighbor fell off the roof, or all that kind of stuff. But basically, people are tuning out. 31% of respondents in this Pew survey said they've stopped watching local news altogether. And basically, people are only tuning in now for weather, sports, and traffic. Now, David, I want to start with you here because you're a news guy. Do you think this is just a sign of the times? Is this just everyone going to the internet for this stuff? Or is it that in local news, it's just absurd? You just see, you know, the neighbor that got hit by the car. There's just such a non-stop negative situation attached to local news that people can't take.
Well, first of all, let's hit nonstop. You know, I've been doing local news for the last 10 years, and what I hate the most is when people go, I don't watch the news because it's so negative. No, bullshit. Can we say bullshit?
You can say bullshit.
No, bullshit, because you love the negative, you love the gossip, and you love the blood and gore. So that's sort of a pet peeve of mine. It is true that the numbers are shrinking, but it is because we all walked in here with a phone. And we all have a Twitter account, and that's what we're all checking. It's why I left local news after 10 years, to go and do something that was on a digital platform. But I will tell you this, when it rains, people watch the news. When they are stuck in traffic, you know, that's when, local news will never go away. Is it dwindling? Sure. But it doesn't matter if you're in Bangor, Maine, or Los Angeles, you're gonna watch your local news.
Yeah. So weather, traffic, sports. Brian, are you gonna miss the absurd stories, like just, you know, just the craziness?
The news bloopers.
Yeah, exactly.
People say something outrageous and everyone posts it on YouTube. No, I love the local news. I always turn it on the early morning before, you know, like the Good Morning Americas and the Today shows all come on. I always turn it on, except with LA, it's always like a little like, oh, and we'll talk about Lindsay Lohan's latest court appearance. Like, this is on the local news, but yeah, I do like the local news.
Next, Iran has the bomb, but that's like, you know.
Right. But no, I do definitely like the local news. I don't know if it's just a generational thing, but it feels very safe and it feels very, you know, you feel very in touch with your community, right?
It feels very local.
Yeah. Whitney, where do you get your news?
I mean, well, the thing is, you were saying generational, and you know what I think has happened is I think that in this generational shift, we've become more obsessed with pop culture and what's happening, like you said, with Lindsay Lohan, as opposed to, you know, what's happening on the local government level or anything like that. You know, we are obsessed with these stories. So, you know, Us Weekly is selling out and people aren't tuning in unless it affects their beach commute.
Well, actually, what you're talking about is something that we've talked about on every episode of this show. This idea that pop culture has sort of infected everything else we do to the point that it's all our news is wrapped up in pop culture. Everyone wants to stop this, but how do we do it? What do we actually do besides talking about it?
You're not gonna stop it. You know why? Because people keep tuning into it. We make fun of Lindsay Lohan, but I promise you, when you go back and look at those numbers today, when she was in, they're going to be off the charts for Lohan.
Yeah.
We relate to celebrities. We relate to their drama. We relate to them being late. We relate to them recklessly driving and lying to police. We relate to that. Okay, I haven't lied to police, but you get the point.
Well, it's like nothing like a Lohan.
You've said too much.
Well, yeah. All right.
Something like a Lohan court appearance make you feel better about your own problems.
But we don't relate to the government stories. They're hard to tell. As a journalist, it's hard to make you care why a community in Southern California is 600,000 in the red and why their city manager got arrested. You guys already look bored.
Right.
People don't care about those kinds of stories.
But when somebody throws a glitter bomb at Lindsay Lohan walking into court,
the headline.
and then she snorts it because she thinks it's the new designer cocaine, that is a story.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't done that?
Don't forget, the official outfitter of the Rubin Report is bonobos.com. Enter code TRR20 for 20% off your next shirt.